Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I'm just going to give you a bit more additional information regarding Paul Pogba. Also there's huge developments on Ighalo, and after them topics I'll delve into more topics later on in the video. And so the first topic of development I am going to start with is Paul Pogba. So as you all know, there is uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future. Paul Pogba's future has not yet been resolved. Now, reportedly Manchester United are set to open up negotiations with Paul Pogba over the possibility of extending his contract with the club until 2022. As it stands at the moment, Pogba has got 2 years left on his contract, 1 year with an option of a further year. But like I mentioned, I think it's very, very likely that Man United will trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. Now, obviously, reports were emerging out yesterday saying that Manchester United are confident that Paul Pogba will remain at the football club. The main explanations for this is due to the coronavirus pandemic, and plus we are very sceptical that Real Madrid and Juventus can finalise a deal for Paul Pogba, because obviously us selling Paul Pogba will want at least £100 million for him, maybe even more than £100 million. Plus Paul Pogba is one of the highest paid players at Manchester United, because he is on around, between £290,000 to £300,000 a week. Now, as you all know, Ed Woodward, I still believe, is in negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, like it was last weekend, to resolve Paul Pogba's future at the football club, and to actually stop Mini Raiola making public attacks against the club, because since the turn of the year, Mini Raiola has made a number of public attacks against the football club, and Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been talking a lot. Don't forget, near the start of the year, he was basically saying that Paul Pogba is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's property. He was basically saying if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League, it's likely that his client will leave Manchester United in the summer. Don't forget, he also came out and criticised Gary Neville. But Mini Raiola has been working on getting his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed, at least in the last couple of years or so. Because obviously, since Paul Pogba rejoined Man United from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. This year there's been a lot of speculation about him leaving. Obviously, last summer there was a lot of speculation about him leaving, because he did reveal last summer, did Paul Pogba, that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he wanted to seek for a new challenge, and he actually publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. But last summer, the figure we wanted is totally comparison to the one that we want now, because reports emerged out last week saying that we will take 100 million for Paul Pogba, but last summer we wanted around 180 million pounds for the player, and obviously Real Madrid were not determined to meet that. Now obviously it came out a couple of weeks ago saying Paul Pogba was interested in staying at Manchester United, and he actually was interested himself in extending his contract at the football club. And the main explanation for this is because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because he is aware of the impacts that Bruno Fernandes has made, and he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Don't forget, Bruno Fernandes won Premier League Player of the Month for February. But some people believe that they won't make a good partnership in our midfield, because they've got similarities in like their styles and stuff. This was from Dimitar Berbatov's perception, by the way. I think he came out with this the other week. And then basically, Solskjaer came out and reiterated what he said, and Solskjaer said the other week that he's confident that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. Obviously, when the season does resume, the season I think is resuming from the 1st of June, and don't forget, all games are expected to be completed within 6 weeks, so next season can start on time. But Paul Pogba, will definitely play again for Manchester United, and Solskjaer, is excited about the prospect of Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba playing together in our midfield. Now, obviously, Paul Pogba's appearances this season have been limited. due to the injuries he's had. I think he's only played around 8 games in all competitions this season as Pogba. But as it stands at the moment, Pogba is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for the player. But if he does leave, I think he'll have a go at Real Madrid, even though the Daily Express recently reported out saying that, he doesn't want to make a move to Real Madrid. I actually probably believe he'd make a return back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years in Turin. PSG have been in for him before, also too Barcelona have been in for him. But even if he doesn't leave in the summer, at some point he's going to leave and he's going to rejuvenate his career. I'm very sceptical that Pogba will spend the entirety of his career from now on with Manchester United. Revert back to when he was younger, Manchester United had Paul Pogba. We had him under the Alex Ferguson era, but we let him go on a free transfer due to limited appearances. But United fans have got different perceptions on Pogba. Some United fans would keep him and some United fans would let him go. But, we'd generate a lot of money if we got rid of Pogba. Plus, it'd totally free up our wage bill a lot. But we will see what happens. So Man United are looking to trigger the 1-year extension on his contract. The other week, by the way, Pogba was back in training. Don't forget he was training indoors because he did have some personal coaching with Michael Carrick. So it is good to see that Pogba is stepping up his fitness regime. So his future is still uncertain at the moment. So let's just confirm that. So that's the latest news on him. Now I'm going to delve into news on Ighalo. Now, according to Sky Sports and according to a few other media outlets, Shanghai Shenhua, his parent club, have offered Ighalo a 2-year contract extension worth around £400,000 a week before tax. Basically, Shanghai Shenhua have made this offer, so obviously it can convince him to turn down a permanent move to Manchester United. Now, I think he's got around, 2 years left on his contract with Shanghai Shenhua, but Shanghai Shenhua were looking to extend it until December 2024. Now, obviously, as reports were coming out recently, it did say that Man United, want to get Ighalo in on a permanent basis. Obviously, it also said as well that we're looking to extend his loan until June the 30th. Due to the coronavirus pandemic. His current loan spell ends with Manchester United on the 31st of May. But it did reveal how much it will cost Man United to get Ighalo on a permanent transfer. It will cost the club around £15 million. So Solskjaer did make an admission saying, we could decide to make his transfer permanent because he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Ighalo has 4 goals in 3 starts for the club. He's also provided a couple of assists. And I do believe, from my own perception, he's a very, very good back cover-up to Marcus Rashford. And he's totally comparison to our other attacking players, is Ighalo. But like I mentioned, he's an option of a different type of centre-forward. His hold-up play is very, very good. And even before he came to Manchester United, he played in the Premier League in the past, because he enjoyed 3 years with Watford. But I think he's definitely confounded his critics, Ron, as Ighalo. So yeah, so Shanghai Shenhua have offered him a 2-year contract worth around £400,000 a week. But I do believe more things will update about it. But even if we do end up getting Ighalo on a permanent transfer, I still believe that Manchester United do need a centre forward, because basically, we need an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Now, I said Man United have got a lot of good attacking players. Like I mentioned, Rashford was really, really good earlier on in the season, obviously when he was fully fit. Rashford up until this point has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. He's been a United player since the age of 7. But since he broke in the senior squad back in 2016, he has become an integral part of our team as Marcus Rashford. Don't get me wrong, he's had some bad spells and that. Do you think Rashford's better centrally? Do you think he's better out wide? But yeah, done really, really well for us. And he's definitely the long-term solution for Manchester United. But he is out with a back injury at the moment. He's been out for quite a while. But I think he's expected back very, very soon. And probably, will be back, when the season does resume, Marcus Rashford. Also, I've got to be honest, I think Mason Greenwood's done very, very well this season. He's another good attacking player for us. You can say he's a backup at the moment. Mason Greenwood, of course, seldom starts in the Premier League. He's played a few times, but he starts more in like the cup games, does Mason Greenwood. It's only his first season in the senior squad. Martial, I think a lot of aspects of his game have really, really improved recently. Got to say, he's rejuvenated himself. He has sustained quite a lot of injuries, Martial, during his career with Man United, especially this season. He's sustained quite a few injuries, so that's had a really bad effect on him. Martial's been playing in that number 9 role this season, even though he predominantly plays out wide on the left. In the 4 previous seasons, Martial has obviously played out on the left and that. So maybe a lot of United fans will say Martial should be reverted back to the left-hand side. I think Martial's got like 15 or is it 16 goals this season for the football club. So yeah, he's also really, really improved. So yeah, Manchester United have got a lot of good attacking players. But if we can get someone in there, with Odi and Ighalo, we'll look much, much better. Obviously, I give you the news, didn't I, regarding Jadon Sancho earlier on. A lot of positivity, has been coming out regarding Jadon Sancho. Looks very, very imminent that Manchester United are going to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. It has been revealed how much he will cost. He will cost from 100 million to 120 million pounds. But either figure is going to make Jadon Sancho our most expensive signing and a record signing in the Premier League. Because like I mentioned, our most expensive signing at the moment is Paul Pogba, who Manchester United paid £89 million for. But yeah, Jadon Sancho has revealed anywhere Manchester United does remain his #1 choice. And he's revealed why his preference is a move to Manchester United over Chelsea. Because obviously, he likes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's idea, recruiting young players in. Obviously, we've got a lot of young players in the squad as it stands at the moment. I think we've got the youngest team in the Premier League this season. So that was something to tell you in that. Yeah. And obviously, Fabrizio Romano, he broke out the news recently. And he's an Italian journalist. And he basically, said that Man United have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for 2 months. And, we're basically, working on his contract. I do probably believe we'll give him similar or the exact same wages as what Marcus Rashford's on. And I think Rashford's on like, 200 odd grand a week. Potentially rising up to 300 grand a week with image rights and, bonuses and that involved. But he said before that we was willing to give Jadon Sancho around £200,000 a week. But the Borussia Dortmund chefs, they've confirmed that Jadon Sancho is expected to leave Dortmund at the end of the season. But they've confirmed that Man United have beaten Chelsea and Liverpool to the signing of Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho, by the way, has also revealed another main explanation why he wants to come to Manchester United because of 3 players. Obviously, he's got a really, really good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Also, too, he likes Martial. He's also an admirer of Mason Greenwood. And I honestly do believe Jadon Sancho, playing alongside them, he will do really, really well. And he is a right winner. And Manchester United, of course, are in search for a right winner. Jadon Sancho is predominantly a right winner, but he can occasionally play Jadon Sancho centrally. Don't forget, like I updated you earlier on today, Tammy Abraham has urged Marcus Rashford. He's urged Marcus Rashford to stay away from Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Tammy Abraham does know Jadon Sancho. I think, they've got a good, friendship. They played together when they were young, at the youth level, that is. So they do know each other really, really well, do Tammy Abraham and Jadon Sancho. But he's urged Marcus Rashford to stay away from him because obviously, Rashford and I think Angel Gomez had, what did they do now? I think they uploaded post on social media, to obviously wish Jadon Sancho a happy 20th birthday, because it was actually his 20th birthday. Yesterday's was Jadon Sancho's. But yeah, I want him to come to Manchester United, and like I mentioned, we have been relentlessly linked with him. Don't forget we was in for him last year. But the main explanation why we didn't get Jadon Sancho last year is because, we failed to qualify for the Champions League. We didn't have any Champions League football. And it sometimes is hard to get players to the elite level when you're not in the Champions League. Man United, I think, are going to give him Jadon Sancho the iconic number 7. Like I mentioned, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, and I do believe Jadon Sancho can follow them footsteps. Jadon Sancho is now into his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, early on in the season, he was dropped in quite a lot of games, was Jadon Sancho. But I've got to say, in his 2 previous seasons, he has done really, really well. And Jadon Sancho, coming back to the Premier League, is very, very beneficial for him, and it will take his footballing career to the next level. Played in the Premier League before for Man City. never really got any first team opportunities in his couple of years at Man City, so this is the main explanation why I left City to join Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund only paid around, what, £7 or £8 million for him from Manchester City. Also, too, as you all know, Jadon Sancho's the highest valued young player in the world. This was confirmed from a study called CIES. So reportedly it said he was worth in the region of 184 million, which is actually no double than his teammate Erling Haaland. But yeah, so it's looking very, very imminent. Man United are going to get Jadon Sancho in the summer. So if Solskjaer's still here in the summer transfer window, it will be his 6th signing overall, because Solskjaer so far has made 5 signings. He's made 4 permanent signings, and obviously, you know, he got 1 player on loan and that. But it is good, you know, that Solskjaer is making plans for the summer transfer window, because definitely more investment is needed in the squad. And Solskjaer has got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. But like I did mention yesterday, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United. He deserves at least another season because it is a transition period. And like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. So he does deserve more time at the football club, does Solskjaer. Obviously, you know, on Saturday it will be the 1-year anniversary of Solskjaer being permanent Manchester United manager. Yeah, it will be the 1-year anniversary, because on Saturday he would have been permanent manager of Manchester United for a year. But he has been here now, Solskjaer, for around 15 months. But definitely, you know, deserves more time at the football club. Obviously, you know, Solskjaer in 3 transfer windows has spent around £220 million on, obviously, you know, 5 players. Also, too, he has got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, so that's also something else I've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. You know, I think around 9 players have left in total since he's come in. Obviously, you know, we saw Ashley Young leave this year after he endured 8.5 years at the football club. He went to Inter Milan. Obviously, we saw Valencia leave at the end of last season. He endured 10 years at the football club, so he was a long-serving player. We saw Marcus Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes this year. I think we'll negotiate on getting rid of him on a permanent transfer. We also too saw Darmian leave last summer. He went to Parma. We saw Chris Smalling go out on loan to Roma. Smalling, of course, endured 9 years at Manchester United. There's still a possibility chance he could come back. We saw, obviously, you know, Marion Fellaini leave Manchester United. You know, I think he was the first player that Solskjaer got rid of, and this was before Solskjaer had got the job on a permanent basis. So yeah, Fellaini did endure 6 years at the club. Obviously, he joined China back in January 2019. Obviously, we saw Ander Herrera leave the club after he endured 5 years at Manchester United. And obviously, you know, we saw Romelu Lukaku go to Inter Milan last summer, and we saw Sanchez go out on loan to Inter Milan. So a lot of players have left since Solskjaer's arrival, and, you know, some of the players we've loaned out, you know, we'll, you know, negotiate on getting rid of them on permanent transfers. But I think Solskjaer is planning to get rid of around 5 players in the summer transfer window. The players I think that will go, I think we'll definitely get rid of Phil Jones, because obviously, you know, now Phil Jones can't even get in the team. He can't even get in the team, can Phil Jones, because obviously Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof are our first choice centre-halves, and you've got Bailly and Tuan Zebe that are our backup, so he's not going to get in the team. I think, you know, we'll also definitely get rid of Jesse Lingard and Andrews Pereira, because Lingard's found game time difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, and I think Pereira's found game time difficult since Scott McTominay come back. So they are 2 liabilities. There's still a lot of uncertainty over Angel Gomez's future. I don't think Angel Gomez's future has yet been resolved. It's not yet been resolved as Angel Gomez's future, because obviously he seldom played this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and up until this point Angel Gomez has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. I think he's been a United player since the age of 8, but he's seldom played this season. This is why there's been reports saying that he could possibly leave Man United. You know, it's a bit same sort of thing with Chong, isn't it? We know now Chong's staying because the other week Chon had signed a 2-year contract with the club with an option of a further year, but he's seldom played this season. But the likes of Chon, Greenwood and Brandon Williams have all had more minutes under their belt than Angel Gomez. But I think we want to try and get Angel Gomez a new contract. So he probably won't leave. He probably won't leave. I think, Man United could possibly, still get rid of David De Gea. Because obviously, Dean Henderson could become our #1 when he comes back from his loan spell with Sheffield United. And he's done really, really well on his loan spell with Sheffield United. I've got to be really, really honest with you. So I've got to give him a hell of a lot of credit for that. So De Gea could possibly go. If he does leave De Gea, I think he'll make a return back to Spain. That's what I think will happen. Lee Grant, I think we need to get rid of him because he's basically wasted time. Obviously got him from Stoke in the summer of 2018. Seldom played as Lee Grant. Plus he's out with injury now, is Lee Grant. He is a long-term absentee. So yeah, we'll definitely get rid of more players in the summer transfer window and that. But I've got to be honest with you, my perception on Bruno Fernandes is that he's definitely one of the best players that Manchester United have recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. But he is definitely the best signing, is Bruno Fernandes, because he's making the difference in the team. Some of his decision-making is very, very good. His decision-making is very, very good. Very instrumental. Can score goals. Can create chances. And Man United is replicating what he did in his 2.5 years at Sporting Lisbon. But, I think all the signings that Solskjaer's recommended in have all done really, really well. James hasn't been brilliant in the last couple of months, but prior to that, I think he's done really, really well. I do like Daniel James a lot. His pace is unbelievable. I think Daniel James and Rashford have been our fastest players this season. There's still aspects of Daniel James' game that need to improve. Maybe his crossing needs to improve a bit. Maybe his tracking back needs to improve. But prior to that, I don't think nothing much more really needs to improve about Daniel James. And Wan-Bissaka done really, really well. Very, very good right back. We're starting to see the attacking side of his game, but his defensive contribution, I've got to say, has also been very, very good. Harry Maguire's done really, really well for us. We paid £80 million for him from Leicester. Most expensive centre-half in the world. Second most expensive signing at the club. And you've got to say his calmness, his composure is also very, very good, is Harry Maguire's. And I think we made the right decision by giving him the captaincy on a permanent basis. Obviously, we're giving the captaincy reflecting on Ashley Young's departure from the football club. So yeah, so the players he's recruited in have actually done really, really well. Also, I want to go through with you with what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, what he said before, but it's reiterated again basically. Because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about how he had to overhaul Manchester United when Jose Mourinho got sacked in December 2018, when Solskjaer came in to replace him. And he said basically, a lot of things needed to change. Obviously, such as tactics, players, personnel. And I've got to be honest, I think quite a lot of things have changed under Solskjaer since he replaced Mourinho. Also, he's promoted the youth. And he continues with this tradition, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's something else I've got to credit him for. So a lot of things have changed since the Jose Mourinho era. I think he's also galvanised the team as Solskjaer, I've got to be honest with you. Because obviously, revert back to the Jose Mourinho era, obviously couldn't really get the best out of Martial, couldn't really get the best out of Luke Shaw, couldn't get the best out of Paul Pogba because obviously Mourinho had bad disputes with our top players. Also had bad disputes with the board. And this is the main explanation why Jose Mourinho's tenure at Man United didn't work out. Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United, but it just didn't work out under him, despite the fact, that he won 2 trophies in his first season, got a second place in his first season. But got to be honest with you, we recommended him in too late. Maybe you could say we should have got him in after Alex Ferguson. But yeah, a lot of players have improved under Solskjaer. Fred, he was another player, never got any opportunities under Jose Mourinho. This is something else that's changed. But since Solskjaer's come in, Fred's been given his opportunities and he's a much, much better player now. And Fred, does deserve a hell of a lot of credit. If we paid, £50 million for Fred. But I've got to be honest with you, he goes well alongside McTominay in our midfield. Does Fred. But we are starting to see the best of Fred now, which is very, very good to see. But, with Luke Shaw and that, he had a lot of problems under Mourinho, but And he's had a lot of bad spells as a United player, but I think since he's come back from injury, Luke Shaw has done really, really well. So I've got to give Luke Shaw a hell of a lot of credit. And don't forget, analysing the vast majority of this team, it's Jose Mourinho's. Because, you know, Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the club. You know, Solskjaer is still inheriting the vast majority of them. He's still inheriting players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still Matt here from the David Moyes era. There's still a couple of players he isn't there from the Alex Ferguson era. So take into account, Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. He's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. But revert back to what I said. Solskjaer needs time because not every manager settles in straight away. You know, prime example, you know, Alex Ferguson, you know, when he first came into Manchester United, he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. But then look what he went and accomplished after not winning out in his first 4 years. You know, he was magnificent. He endured 26, 27 years at Man United, Ferguson. You know, we had nothing but success under Ferguson. And the vast majority of the silverware we've won, that's obviously, you know, come under Alex Ferguson and that. So, obviously, you know, since Ferguson departed, you know, you can say Man United have been playing catch-up for the last, 6 or 7 years. Ferguson was at fault for ever recommending David Moyes in. The main explanation why Moyes came in is because they was both Scottish. He only enjoyed 89 months at the club. And then obviously, you know, Van Gaal didn't work out under him, despite the fact he won the FA Cup. And like I mentioned, didn't work out under Mourinho. So, obviously, you know, Man United have had quite a few managers in a short period of time, because Solskjaer now is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. But definitely does deserve more time, because like I've analysed it this season, and there hasn't only been problems with the management. You know, there hasn't only been problems with the management, there's been problems with the club's ownership, the Glazers. A lot of United fans have been criticising Ed Woodward, so let's just put that into the equation. We've also been very, very sceptical about the board. But, you know, recently, you know, we have been in a very, very good run of form. You know, football seems ages ago now, but as it stands at the moment, you know, we're unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. Best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. And a lot of aspects of our game have improved. We're creating more chances, we're scoring more goals, our football looks more expansive, and, you know, Solskjaer seems to have been making the right decisions. And Solskjaer, don't forget, recently revealed his attacking philosophy at the club. So, yeah, it's good that a lot of things have really, really improved, you know, recently. And this is one of the main explanations why I think Solskjaer does deserve at least another season. If it doesn't work out under Solskjaer next season, then I would get rid of him. And then I'd probably recommend Mauricio Pochettino in, because I think he is the favourite to take over at Manchester United if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sacked from the football club. Obviously, Man United will have to pay to get rid of Solskjaer if, you know, we do decide to sack him any time within this 2-year period that he's got left on his contract. Yeah, we'll have to pay to get rid of him and that. Maybe, you know, Solskjaer wouldn't have been Manchester United manager now. You know, if he hadn't been a legend of the club and that, maybe, you know, he would have been gone by now. But I just think we've softened our stance on him because he's a legend of the club. He was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years, and we'll never ever forget what he's done for the football club. We'll never ever forget what he's done for the football club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But like I mentioned, he's inexperienced as a manager, but the longer he stays in the managerial job, he's obviously, you know, going to gain more experience. Solskjaer has managed 50 Premier League games for Man United. I think he's won like 24, drawn 13 and lost 13 or something like that. And his record has been disastrous since he got the job permanently. But there again, his record was also disastrous at Cardiff. So put that into the equation. So put that into the equation now. But a lot of money's been spent at Manchester United. You know, I think we've spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting players in the last 6 or 7 years in all the managerial eras. So always spending big on players and getting them Glasgow players does not always guarantee you success. So let's just put that into the equation. And I think, you know, we can get the right calibre players in the summer. We can, you know, challenge for the league next season. Solskjaer thinks we need around 3 signings anyway to become title contenders next season. And we've got to address the deficiencies in the squad. I think we need a centre forward, we need a right winger, and we also need a central midfielder. There's obviously other targets on our agenda than Sancho and that. Obviously, you know, Bellingham, he's a prime target now for Man United. You know, he could come in now, could Jude Bellingham. You know, Kane's been on our agenda. He's very, very unlikely to come in now. You know, Bamyan's been on our agenda. Jack Grealish, it's likely he'll come in if Villa were to be relegated. Could still come in if Villa, you know, survive. So, yeah, it's good that we're making plans for the summer transfer window. But the club are going to spend a substantial amount this summer. So, anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.